All right, so we're going to look at bunt plays today. Okay, so our numbering system and what we call out. So with nobody on base or runner at first base, the call is going to be red, which is just kind of our regular coverage. And on red, what you have is, I'll kind of explain it right here that way, because it's going to be the same no matter where the ball's bunted with nobody on or runner at first base. So really on red, what you're telling the pitcher is he's calling it out before the bunt. we have a feeling that they're going to bunt. All right, so he's going to end up on this side. Okay, so he's responsible for this side of the infield, and the third baseman is responsible for this side of the infield. So very simple. So that's just the way we cover. Since the third baseman's coming in, shortstop's going to rotate, come to third base. Since shortstop is leaving, second baseman, you're going to come over and cover second base, and then your first baseman, he stays at home. So he's like a third baseman on a regular bunt. Take one hard step in, and then he's coming back to the bag. The reason why you take one step in hard, just in case the ball is bunted past the pitcher, and then our roles reverse. So always remember, if you draw an imaginary line, let me do it real quick. See here. So what we do is we draw an imaginary line from the rubber to first base, and if any ball is bunted past that line, everything switches. Now he will end up with the ball, okay, and the pitcher will end up covering first base, and they've got to really communicate. So he's going to be yelling ball, 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 and he's going to be yelling back, 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 because the tendency is to come in here and then go chase that ball. As soon as you chase, everybody's going to be safe because first baseman's not going to end up there. So just remember this rule. This is on any ball. So any weak grounder, bunt, whatever, it goes past this line. The first baseman will end up taking the ball, and the pitcher will end up going to the bag automatically. Let me get these out of here. All right, so go ahead and play this thing through and look at where everybody goes, and then afterwards I'll kind of explain it. So, of course, everybody's yelling bunt. So on the pitch, really what you just had was a rotation. So third baseman came in, shortstop came over to third base. There's a ball bunted first base. Second baseman ended up going to second base. First baseman stayed at home. So everybody just rotated towards the third baseman. Pitcher's got this side, like we said. He's going to pick up the ball. He's going to field the ball. He's going to be yelling ball, ball, ball. And everybody should be yelling step and throw, so he doesn't panic. All right, and unless it's a bang bang play, then you are going to have to be an athlete, get rid of it as quick as you can. So your right fielder plays a big role in this. He's going to be backing up, so he's really got to follow that pitcher. So wherever the pitcher goes, he's going to get himself in line for a bad throw, and always get as deep as you possibly can. So this is how we're going to cover with nobody on or runner at first base. And this is a ball to the first base side. All right, so the next one, I think it's going to be to the third base side. Okay, so what you have is the same exact setup. All right, I'll let it play all the way through. Okay, so this is going to be a bunt to the third base side. So everything was the same. Third baseman came in, so everybody rotated. So the second baseman went to second. The shortstop ended up covering third. First baseman stayed at home. Pitcher's first move is in this direction. Now, if the ball's bunted, in an area where he can get it before the third baseman, which really shouldn't happen unless, is a situation where we have no clue that they're bunting, a drag bunt or something like that. He can make that play if he's going to get there before the third baseman. All right, but he's responsible for this side of the infield. Okay, but again, be an athlete. If you can get to the ball before the third baseman, that's fine. But the third baseman actually has a better play because he's coming and he's actually running through the ball. So third baseman's coming in, he's charging, and he's going to end up being the guy who makes a play on this. You notice the right fielder now has got himself in line with the third baseman and the throw and as deep as possible. Okay, so everything stays the same. Pitcher's got this side, third baseman's got this side. The only difference is now the third baseman got the ball. I think the next one's going to be back to the pitcher. Okay, so now on this pitch, I think it ends up being right back to the pitcher. Yeah, all right, so what we've got here is, the pitcher still has to have in mind, this is nobody on, runner first base, that he's going to end up he's still responsible for this side, but what he noticed is the ball's bunted right back at him. So he just came in. Okay, he's going to make the play. Everybody should be yelling step and throw once he makes the play. Third baseman is still charging just in case. First baseman stayed at home, and then everybody rotated towards the third baseman. So shortstop came over to third. Second baseman came over to second base. And again, the right fielder is getting himself in line just in case there's a bad throw. Okay, so in this third baseman, if he sees the ball bunted right back to the pitcher, he can make the step in and then go ahead and go back to third base. Okay, that's the only difference there. All right, so that's with nobody on or a runner at first base, and the call is going to be red. So we usually just kind of call red, red, red. All right, now a lot of stuff changes with a man at second base. Our coverage is going to switch now with the pitcher, third baseman, and third baseman. So what ends up happening now with a runner at second base, we're going to leave this guy at third base, and now the first baseman is going to charge. So their roles have switched. All right, so on this call, we're going to be yelling white. Okay, and all that's telling the pitcher and the third baseman is, who's got this side. So pitcher's going to step off. He's going to tell the third baseman, I've got this side on the bunt. Third baseman's going to tell him, hey, you got this side on the bunt. So both of them know. All right, so that way, there's no mistake when we make it. And then of course the first baseman is charging. Okay, all right, so let's let it play out. Okay, so you've got this side on the bunt. There's the pitch. Okay, so he makes that one hard step in, then he covers third, and then you see the first baseman crashing. You see the pitcher covering this side. He's responsible for that side. And then the catcher is going to make this decision. Okay, so the catcher is going to make the decision that if he's got time, we want to throw this guy out for sure. But if not, then we're going to turn and throw to the second baseman who came over from second base. So if you notice, everything rotates the other direction. So with nobody on or running first base, everything rotated this way. Now everything's rotating the other way. So this is the shortstop coming over. Second baseman is coming over to first base. Everybody's getting themselves, the right fielder's getting himself in line for a throw here just in case. And then the left fielder's getting himself in line just in case there's a throw to third base. Again, we want to try and get this guy out. So if it's a hard bunt, really hard bunt, that first baseman can make that play, he will. But most of the time, the ball's bunted to this side with a runner at second base. If it's a decent bunt, that guy's going to get to third base. All right, but the catcher's the one making that decision, and he's going to be yelling out 3 or 1. Okay, same thing. Now this is going to be a ball to another spot. Okay, so this is a bunted ball to the third base side. Remember that third baseman's got to take that one step in just in case it's bunted hard. Okay, kind of like what we did over here with first base. All right, pitcher's going to end up covering this side. That's his responsibility. The first baseman, okay, I should have gone back and showed a little bit more. But on this one, what happened was the ball was bunted to this side. First baseman charged, had time to get back to first base. If second baseman, if you see that, but make sure that you guys are communicating. If not, he can come up and the second baseman just covers. But in this situation, it was bunted. First baseman knew for sure that the pitcher was going to end up getting the ball, so he made his steps in and then he came back to the bag. We'd rather have the first baseman there. Second baseman's kind of a tough play. You're on the run the whole time. So second baseman ended up backing up. Right fielder ended up backing up. Shortstop rotated towards the guy who's actually covering the bunt, which is the first baseman. Third baseman made a step, made that hard step in, and then went back to third base. And again, the catcher's going to make that decision. So a lot of times if this ball is bunted pretty hard to the pitcher, he can make this out at third base. But if not, then he's going to end up going 1. So everybody's backing up. You can see the left fielder's backing up here. Center fielder's going to back up second base just in case, something happens with the runner at first base. So that's a ball bunted to the third base side. All right, now a hard bunt to the third base side. So this is the one where he takes that hard step in. He sees that the ball is going to get past the pitcher. So our roles are going to end up changing. So just remember that your role on this pitcher, still you got this side on the bunt. First baseman is charging. Okay, if he sees that it's going to be a hard bunt to this side, he's probably going to go back to the bag. If not, he can come in, and then the second baseman covers first base. So now everybody's rotating towards the guy who's covering the bunt. So you got this side on the bunt, just like normal. Oops, let me go back. I don't know if it's going to play or not. Okay, so there's the pitch, hard bunt, and it should be a fair ball. Okay, that first baseman came in, noticed there's a hard bunt. All right, and that's where you got to switch. Okay, so that first step, he notices it's a hard bunt. He just keeps coming. Okay, so no stop. He's going to come through, get the ball, and really, this guy's probably going to stay. All right, unless he sees that the guy just keeps running, then he'll come in behind him. So you still have almost two plays that you can make, but most of the time that ball is going to end up keeping that guy at second base. You're going to come in and make the throw to first base. On this, the first baseman, as soon as you catch the ball, you got to come out as far as you possibly can. All right, because a lot of times this guy will creep and creep, and once he sees the third baseman throw to first base, then he'll take off to third base. All right, but again, you just got to be kind of an athlete on this situation and find out what this runner is doing. Second baseman, you got to do shortstop, you got to do a good job of letting the third baseman know if this guy's just taking off or not. Pitcher also. So what the pitcher's going to yell on this is that third baseman takes that step in. He's just yelling ball, ball, ball. He's going to get the ball. All right, he's looking to throw to first base, and then the pitcher is just coming through and going to third base, and he's yelling bag, bag, bag. Backing up the throw, backing up the throw. This is the second baseman backing up the throw. All right, to first base because the first baseman went back. All right, so really, it really depends on what this guy does, whether we throw to first or whether it would probably end up being getting him in a rundown. Okay, so that's a ball bunted hard to third base. And let me go back. All right, so this is play 65. Okay, just forget this up here. Forgot to change the slide. So just remember this. This is play 65. So 6 stands for the shortstop. The 5 stands for him. He's going to go to third base. Okay, so 65. All right, so the third baseman is actually taking the shortstop's actually taking the third baseman's spot here at third, and the third baseman is now charging early. He's charging early. So what you're going to see is as soon as the shortstop, okay, passes the runner, then the third baseman can come up. Okay, so as long as this third baseman knows that the shortstop is going to beat the runner to third base, okay, not have the runner just take off because he opens up and comes to the plate. So as soon as the shortstop is past him and he can beat him to the bag, beat the runner to the bag, third baseman is charging. We want the third baseman pretty much right on top of the batter. All right, able to defend themselves in case it's a slash, but he's up in here. We're trying to get the guy at third base. First baseman's doing the same thing as the third baseman. He's charging. Okay, so really he can come pretty early. He can show it early because the second baseman's going to come to first, so he's got really no responsibility. So the center fielder is going to end up covering second base. This is really the only time we're going to have an outfielder actually cover second base. So again, this is 65. So there goes the shortstop. Third baseman's charging. Okay, and it's a good place to stop because what the pitcher is waiting for is he's going to wait for the shortstop to get past the midpoint. That's when he's going to deliver the ball. All right, so once he sees that the shortstop is past midpoint, okay, then he's going to deliver, and we're trying to get the guy at third base. That gives the shortstop time to get to third base when the ball is fielded and thrown. If you don't let him get past halfway or at least halfway, then he's still going to be running by the time the ball is thrown to him. All right, so the first baseman's going to charge, third baseman's going to charge, second baseman's going to cover first, center fielder's going to come in. And really, this is whoever gets the ball first. So in this situation, the third baseman's probably going to get this ball right here, and he's going to turn and hopefully fire to third base. because that's who we're looking to get out. We're not really looking to get that guy at first base. So we have to get this guy out. Tying or winning run. Okay. Now the next play is 641. This is a pickoff. So the 6 stands for the shortstop's going to move first. So this is kind of just going in order. So shortstop's going to come in, make his normal 65 move. Okay. But he does not have to go all the way to third base. So he can come in here, he can pretty much do whatever he wants. We can go open hand, open glove, and pick him here if he opens his glove. But he's going to come back in here, and he's actually going to drive back to shortstop just in case it's a slash or something like that. So the 6 stands for the shortstop breaking first. Okay, we want to make it look like play 65. Then the 4 stands for the second baseman breaking to the bag. All right, so 6 shortstop makes a move. 4 second baseman comes to second base. 1 stands for the pitcher turning and throwing. Now the pitcher will come set. Once that shortstop passes, he'll turn his head to the plate, and the catcher will now try and time it depending on how fast the second baseman is. He's already cheated over a little bit anyways. So once the second baseman starts to break to the bag, the catcher's going to drop his glove. Okay, just like he's giving a strike signal and then drop his glove. Pitcher will turn and make a quick move, throw to second base. All right, so really what the second baseman is looking for, he's looking for that shortstop to come in, clear the runner, okay? And really what you want to see is that runner make one more step, open up his lead. Okay, don't do it too soon. So if the shortstop still come in the bag and you break to the bag, the guy's going to be standing on the bag. But what we want is that shortstop to come in, leave. Okay, this guy takes an extra step open. All right, then you break to the bag, and then we turn and pick. All right, so let's see what it looks like on the. So there's the showing 65. Okay, showing 65. Second baseman breaks to the bag. And then we pick at second base. Okay, so that's 641. Difference is here, we know we're throwing to second base. So we got 2 guys trying to back up. All right, hopefully we pick this guy, get him in a rundown, whatever we got to do. This guy's backing up over here just in case the guy gets in a rundown. So we're trying to pick the guy at second base on this one. And then last one is play 42. Okay, it looks like it already ran it. Okay, so on play 42, no, it's just the way it's set up. All right, so on play 42, 4 stands for the second baseman. Notice where he's playing. Okay, and then 2 means he's going towards the catcher. All right, so the catcher doesn't really have anything to do on this, but it just means that the second baseman, who's pretty much right on the edge of the front of the mound, and really what he's waiting for is once this guy comes set and starts his delivery, then he's charging. So on play 42, the second baseman has everything. All right, so we're looking to make a play with the second baseman. Okay, first baseman stays at home, third baseman stays at home. Shortstop actually plays pretty much right on top of second base. That way, this guy stays really close to the bag. So we can turn and pick anytime we need to. All right. But he can also play the slash if he has to play the slash. So on this, the pitch is going to be delivered. And once he starts going into his stretch, once he goes in the stretch and starts to deliver, this guy's charging. Now, don't break across too hard. Okay, you got to kind of make yourself here to the middle. All right, and just in case it is bunted down the line. If it's a great bunt, then they're going to end up getting the guy to third base anyways. But we're looking to throw the guy out at third base with the second baseman pretty much covering everything here. Let's see what it looks like. Everybody backing up in the outfield, and we're trying to make that play at third base. Okay, so that's 42. Yeah, I think that's it for the bunts.